All right, fellas. Terence Crawford is retired. 38 years old. He had a great career. 18 world championships, in five different weight classes. Jason, like, is he a legend or what?
Absolutely. But the question is for me, is he really retired? He got stripped of one of his belts. I think this might be an emotional decision. He may actually come back and fight again. I think if he starts getting those, $100 million checks, the way um,
Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather was getting towards the end of his career, I think you could see Terence Crawford in the ring again. Um, he just gave a masterful performance, maybe the best performance of his career. And so I could totally see him coming back. But if he doesn't, I still would put him in there with the best of this century. I think he's in there with the Manny Pacquiao's. He's in there with the Floyd Mayweathers. He's in there, maybe even all time the Roy Joneses, the Tommy Hearnses, the Sweet Peas, the um, Ray Leonards, like all of those guys. You got to put Terrence Crawford right up in there. And one of the interesting things that I've been hearing, Wade, is that people have been trying to say, how does his career stack up against Floyd Mayweather? I know for me, um, it's really tough. I got to give it to Mayweather because of the strength of schedule. You know what I'm saying? I got to look at like their resume and who they fought, and I think Mayweather's competition. He fought better competition.
Mm.
But you know, in terms of going out and devastating dudes and winning all your fights, Terence Crawford, I don't think he had a split decision on his record. If I'm not mistaken, he has zero split decisions. Everything, he either got a UD or he stopped you. And that is incredible for 42 fights. So I don't know if I'm sure you've been you watched some Mayweather fights and you watched some Terence Crawford's fights. Where do you rank him?
I'm gonna go with Mayweather. Bud was a great fighter, 42 and 0, like you said. He said he's not retiring because he can't fight no more. He just said he has nothing else to prove. So, but I do agree if he start receiving some offers for $100 million fights like Mayweather was getting after his retirement, I feel like he'll come out of retirement and give us what we want to see. 38, but also like we said, I'm glad he is retiring right now because 42 fights, we don't want to see him like Tommy Hearns, like how we mentioned before, like a little off. A lot of the boxers now, I saw Riddick Bowe talking, man. It hurts to
Yeah.
just hear him talk, to try to talk. So um, he's up there though. He's definitely. I think we ranked him a couple episodes ago. I think we had him in our top five boxers or top 10 at least. So I mean, he's up there, but I gotta go with Money May though.
Well, so I know it would be great for the show, but I'm also an Aquarius. So I definitely want to make sure we look at the other side of this. And I would say Terrence Crawford is, I mean, if he's not better than Floyd, then he's definitely the closest thing because, you can look at the resumes and you can say that Floyd Mayweather had better names, but I think that the challenge for Terrence Crawford was a lot greater than Floyd Mayweather because Terrence Crawford jumped weight classes. Like it is very hard to fight in different weight classes, and he did it in five weight classes and won and hasn't been defeated. You know what I mean? So I can understand if you beaten a great amount of fighters in one or two weight classes, but in five different ones, even if it's not like, I mean, if you fighting somebody bigger than you or somebody that you had to bulk your weight up to fight, like you got to give them more credit for that, even if it's not a huge name.
Yeah, I agree. I think just the show with Mayweather. I think people gonna always put Mayweather first. Um, Boxing, I guess that we can argue that, but I feel like outside of boxing, what Mayweather has done, people gonna always put Mayweather first. Even if you don't have no knowledge about boxing and you just Google and YouTube and Mayweather, like you're gonna go with Mayweather
Hmm.
just for the show, just for the entertainment over,
Yeah.
Well, I think we
my
can at least
opinion.
say this, right, Jason? That he might be the best southpaw fighter of all time, Terence Crawford.
So, I mean, we have to look at him. I mean, even for this century, southpaw fighters, you would have to compare him to Manny
Yep.
Pacquiao, who was a phenomenal southpaw
He lost. He
fighter.
lost a few fights though.
He did. He did. Some of those were robberies, though. Like the Jeff Horn fight, that was a robbery. The Timothy Bradley fight, that was ridiculous. That was a robbery. Like some of the worst. Manny Pacquiao has gotten some of the worst. And I'm not a huge Manny Pacquiao fan, but he's gotten some of the worst robberies in boxing history. And he's another guy that jumped weight classes. That's why Floyd wanted him to take a blood test, because he's like, how do you go from 106 to 154 and you're running through these guys? Like, you're not just like beating them or fighting them and winning a UD by outboxing them. Like, you're literally stopping these guys. When you look at their prime of their careers, because Manny Pacquiao has about 30 more fights than Terence Crawford, I think it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Manny Pacquiao went on a
Yeah.
run. But, you know, and I think there was, boxing was just a little bit better, to be
So
honest.
are you
Like,
giving it to
the
Manny
competition
Pacquiao
out there where Manny was
as
fighting was
are you giving it to
better.
Manny Pacquiao as one of the greatest, well, the greatest southpaw fighter?
Um, so I'm trying to think of southpaw fighters. Um, so you got, like, isn't Rocky Marciano a southpaw? You got a couple of really, really good southpaw fighters, but he's up there. You know what I mean? He's definitely in the league.
Well, I,
And I think the both of
yeah,
them are. And when you're looking at this century, I would say it's probably Terence Crawford number one, Manny Pacquiao number two. But I would be okay with people flipping it.
yeah. So one of those two you would say is the greatest southpaw, is what I guess we can land on. But Wade, I mean, is 38 years old a good age for him to retire? I mean, he said he has nothing else to prove. Do we need to see anything else from Terence Crawford?
I don't think we need to see more of him, but like you said, we mentioned this in a couple episodes as well. Like a lot of guys miss the lights. Whether it's football, basketball, boxing, like they miss the roar of the crowd, the attention. We're in a social media age right now, so I feel like that could get him to come out of retirement, and he may start doing
Yeah,
exhibitions. I hope, like I said, just for his mental, I'm glad that he's stopped. Because like I said, when I see some of the older boxers,
yeah.
they can barely talk and articulate what they're trying to say.
I hate some of these expedition fights, but I do think Terence Crawford, out of more than many fighters, deserves a big payday. I mean, I would love to see him get 92 million. I think he deserves that,
Yeah,
but he would have to do probably an expedition fight against one of these YouTubers to get that, which I'm not really a fan of seeing, but I really want him to get that payday.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So thinking of southpaw boxers, I had to do a little brushing up. I mean, one person you got to mention, at least this century, Alexander Usyk.
Mm,
You know what I mean? He's up there
mm,
too. And then I love Sweet Pea. I wouldn't put Sweet Pea above those guys, but Sweet Pea was great. And then of course the great Marvin Hagler. Um, the thing that's great about Marvin Hagler and Terence Crawford is they could switch stances. You know what I mean? Like, even though Terence Crawford he's like LeBron James or Marcus Camby. They primarily do Braun primarily does stuff with his right hand, but he's actually left-handed. And Terence Crawford, like, you don't know how to deal with that switching all the
mm.
time. You know what I'm saying? It gets confusing. he can switch to his left if he's fighting a orthodox fighter, but if he's fighting another left-handed dude, he can switch to his right. Like it's like really hard to beat. And Marvin Hagler was similar. So there's a lot of great left-handed fighters, but he's up there with him. He's right in that same conversation, if not the greatest.
Yeah. Well, I guess we just have to wait and see what Terence Crawford does. We know he said he's retired, but we also know that a lot of these boxers and entertainers say they're retired and then they come back, for a great payday. So, guess we'll just have to wait and see.